Good, Louise? Perfect. Welcome, everyone. I would like to welcome everyone to the Monday, July 18th, 2022 regular meeting of council. And I'm calling the meeting to order at 4 o'clock. I need a mover. Nope. Okay. And I'd just like to remind everyone that all mobile devices should be turned off and or switched to silent mode. Okay. So are there any deletions or additions to the agenda?
Yes, Your Worship, we're going to have the auditor's report motions. So for the financial statements and for the surplus.
Okay, that's 14B.
14B.
Perfect. Okay, and so I have read the motion that council hereby accepts the agenda for the Monday, July 18th, 2022 regular meeting of council as circulated or amended. Moved by Councillor Lake, seconded by Councillor Suki. Carried.
You should ask the question, Your Worship.
Are there any questions regarding the agenda? All in favor?
Correct.
Perfect. Hey, are there any disclosures of interest? I'm hearing none. Okay. I have a motion for the minutes. That council hereby adopts the minutes of the regular meeting of council held on Monday, June 27th, 2022, the closed meeting of council held on Monday, June 27th, 2022, and the special meeting of council held on Tuesday, July 5th, 2022, as circulated or amended. Are there any questions regarding the minutes? All in favor? Perfect. Carried.
Second.
Mover and a seconder, sorry. Perfect, thanks.
Now you should ask the question, Your Worship. All in favor?
Are there any questions regarding the minutes? Nope. Carried.
Just a note on that, Your Worship, I did do an amendment to the special meeting. Just I updated the minutes of the special meeting.
Perfect. Okay, so moving on next, we have CEO reports. Verbal report on 3 McLeod Drive land transfer. Administration, Mr. Skwarczynski will read the report.
So this is just a verbal report for council. It's not new. So this is dates back to December the 9th of 2021, when council agreed to approve the donation of 1 McLeod and 3 McLeod to the Ontario Aboriginal Housing Project. This is just a motion to clean up some changes to the title itself. So when we looked at 1 McLeod and 3 McLeod originally, there's a small pie shape, if you can envision it on the Lakeview side, that is really non-material to the property itself, but it is on title. And we didn't originally include that in the agreement of purchase and sale. So we do need to include that now, so it can be as part of that agreement, be registered on title. So really the motion that we're looking for approval on today approves the original December the 9th agreement that we made with Ontario Aboriginal Housing Services, and then some amendments to the APS as we went through the title transfer process. So no changes to the project. As you can see, the project's going ahead, full steam now. And the funding's in place. So really what administration is asking council to today is just approve the motion that you have to clean up everything and get a consolidated title, which can then get registered, as well as clean up the roll numbers with respect to this particular project.
All right, thank you, Mr. Skwarczynski. I have a motion that council hereby deems the property described as PIN 624480430 LT, PIN 624480431 LT, and PIN 624480432 LT as surplus to the municipality's needs. And further, that the CEO clerk is hereby authorized to complete transactioning the PIN transfers and consolidating on behalf of the town of Marathon with the Ontario Aboriginal Housing Corporation as outlined in the agreement of purchase and sale dated March 31st, 2022, and subsequently revised on June 6, 2022. Moved by? Seconded by? Perfect. Any questions? Councillor Kibushi?
Okay, so originally it was two pieces of property, so we've discovered it's the third piece of property now we're gonna get transferred. I have no problem about that. The issue, or the question I have is, will that now be registered as one single property? And I wasn't sure, but because I haven't really got an answer, is the Aboriginal Housing Corporation, is that a not-for-profit? Is that a government agency, or is that a private entity?
So answer the first question is yes. So this is a very small piece of property, you know, far less than 0.25 acres, really non-usable. So what this will allow to happen is consolidation of those three parcels into one. Second question, Ontario Aboriginal Housing Corporation, they're based out of Sault Ste. Marie, and they are a not-for-profit agency that looks after housing with respect to Aboriginal needs. And in this case, it'll serve dual purpose, both Aboriginal and non-Aboriginal American.
Supplemental.
Yep, for sure.
Just to follow up on that then, so will they be registered as a not-for-profit? So in that sense, are they tax exempt as an institution?
They're not tax exempt. The property will be assessed as any other property be assessed by impact.
Okay, thank you.
All in favor? Any other questions first? All in favor? Carried.
Who seconded that, your worship?
Councilor Kibushi, please. Okay, and then report B, report on memorandum of understanding with the Marathon Public Library. Copy to all members. Mr. Skorchinski.
So at the regular meeting of council on June the 15th of 2020, council approved a Marathon Public Library skills-based board governance policy to be adopted as a town of Marathon policy. As part of this redeveloped governance process, the town and the Marathon Public Library Board committed to entering into a memorandum of understanding to outline the services and supports the municipality is prepared to provide the board in providing public library services to Marathon residents. The Marathon Public Library Board and the town are committed to the principle of public access to library resources and to the cultural and economic well-being of the community and to the cost-effective delivery of these services, minimizing the impact of support services on ratepayers. As such, key covenants contained within the Memorandum of Understanding include communication and coordination, human resources support, financial support, information technology support, facility maintenance support, insurance and risk management, and corporate training. The town and the board agree that the MOU may be terminated with the proper 2-month notice period in writing. Financially, the board will present its proposed annual operating budget to council in accordance with the municipality's budget policy and the format requested, which falls under the Public Libraries Act, and town council will annually review the budgetary estimates from the board for operation of the library. Council's options are approve the memorandum of understanding with the Marathon Public Library Board, do not approve the MOU, or approve the MOU with amendments. Administration recommends that option A be approved and that the town of Marathon enter into a memorandum of understanding with the Marathon Public Library Board and that the mayor and the clerk be authorized to sign on behalf of the municipality.
Thank you, Mr. Skorchinski. I have a motion that council hereby accepts the attached report and recommendations on approving the memorandum of understanding with the Marathon Public Library and that the mayor and CEO clerk are hereby authorized to sign on behalf of the municipality. I need a mover and a seconder.
I'll move. Second.
Any questions?
Obviously the council wants to see the library succeed, and I think the skills-based board was a good way to go. The one thing that I think will be a challenge is by no longer having a council member on the library board, how do we ensure that we, still know what's going on and support them accordingly. So I'm just wondering, in the MOU, will there be an opportunity for the board to come? They used to, when Becky Johnson she would come to every meeting, it was easy informally, but is there sort of a formal mechanism for us still to hear from them fairly regularly?
Yeah, so I'm happy to answer that in two parts. So the first is one of the tenets of the MOU was that the chair and the mayor, as well as the CAO and the CEO, would have regular meetings to discuss any outstanding issues or ideas for both organizations. And then the second one is under the communication piece within the MOU. There's, of course, the budget presentation that would be expected of the board itself, but always the opportunity for council to invite the board to come present on a regular basis to council. So, it probably makes sense that we look at going forward with the new council, starting with obviously the budget presentation, and then maybe halfway through the year inviting the board to make a presentation on progress in 2023. So both of those would be contained within the LEU.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Perfect. Carried.
All in favor?
All in favor? Carried. Okay, next we have administration reports, and this report on adoption of community safety and wellness plan, copied to all members and will be presented by Ms. Lees.
Thank you, Your Worship. In March of 2018, the Ontario government passed Bill 175, the Safer Ontario Act, which required all Ontario municipalities to prepare and adopt a community safety and well-being plan by January 1st, 2021. Due to the COVID pandemic, the Ontario government did extend the deadline to July 1st, 2021. Over the past 6 months, administration has been working collaboratively with the townships of Manitouwadge, Terrace Bay, and Scriber in preparing a joint community safety well-being plan with our consultants, ISN. At the June 27th regular meeting of council, an ISN representative presented the Town of Marathon's plan to members for review. Administration followed up with council members following the regular meeting looking for changes or comments. No changes or comments were noted. The options are to adopt the Town of Marathon Community Safety and Wellbeing Plan as presented, or adopt the plan with amendments. Your administration is recommending that option A be selected and that council adopts the Town of Marathon Community Safety and Wellbeing Plan as presented.
Thank you, Ms. Lees. I have a motion that council hereby accepts the attached report on the Town of Marathon Community Safety and Wellbeing Plan, and that the Town of Marathon adopts the Community and Safety Well-being Plan as presented. Moved by? Seconded? Questions? All in favor? Carried. Perfect. Now we have a report on investment policy, annual treasurer's report, copied to all members, and Mr. Verbo will be presenting this report.
Financial Policy 11 states that the treasurer shall provide an annual investment report that details the status of the current investment portfolio and transactions made since the last report. The report shall include a statement of the performance of the portfolios, a statement from the treasurer as to whether or not, in his opinion, all investments were made in accordance to the policies and goals adopted by the municipality, and any other information that council may require or that, in the opinion of the treasurer, should be included. So in 2020, bank interest was $52,000 revenue. TD had decreased its rate to 0.55%. One investment pays a slight high, or did pay a slight higher interest rate of 3.65. Term deposit interest was $82,000 and realized income in the one investment was $49,000. There were no purchases or redemptions of bonds and equities made in 2020. Last year in 2021, bank interest went down to $23,000. The interest rate still remains at 0.55% from TD and 0.715 from one investment. Term interest deposit was $71,000 and realized income from the one investment was $67,000. Again, there were no redemptions or purchases of bond and equity made in 2021. So as of the end of the year of December 31st, 2021, the book value of the investments in one investment was $1,526,379. There was $5,773,470 invested in term deposits, and in various bank accounts there was $3,884,632. Not reflected in the one investment portfolio is unrealized change in market value. In 2020, the unrealized value was $213,000. In 2021, the unrealized value increased slightly to $270,000. The investments were made in accordance to the town's investment policy, and this report is for council's information only.
Thank you, Mr. Verbo. Does anyone have any questions? Councilor Lee?
So do we anticipate seeing higher interest rates
Already?
over the next,
Well,
and when should we see those?
unfortunately, with the invasion of the Ukraine, the rates have increased starting in February. So now bank has tripled their rates from 0.55%, and currently we're making 1.8%.
Okay.
And term deposits, at Christmas time, could purchase one for 1%, and now the going rate is between 3 and 4%.
Councilor Suki? Okay. Anyone else? Awesome. Thank you, Mr. Verbo. So then I have a check run, a motion to approve the check registered for June 2022 will be presented. I have a motion for the check run that the following June 2022 check runs be approved for the payment of accounts payable in $1,014,755 and payroll to the cost of $216,025.49. I need a mover and a seconder.
Move.
Anyone have any questions? Carried.
All in favor?
All in favor? Carried. Okay, so now we're jumping down to new business. I have a motion that hereas by the virtue of the Franco-Ontarian Day Act, which was legislated on April 26, 2010, it is declared that September 25th of each year be recognized as Franco-Ontarian Day throughout the province of Ontario. And whereas September 25th is the anniversary of the first raising of the Franco-Ontarian flag, and it represents over 400 years of French presence in Ontario. And whereas there are more than 745,000 Francophones in Ontario, the largest Francophone community outside Quebec. And whereas Franco-Ontarian Day has become an annual occasion to celebrate the Francophone community, now therefore be resolved that Greg Valence, acting mayor, do hereby proclaim September 25th as Franco-Ontarian Day and join the Francophone community of the town of Marathon in celebrating its exceptional contribution to Ontario's growth and prosperity. I need a mover and a seconder. Any questions? All in favor?
Yeah, it's great.
Carried.
And your worship, just a note, for the actual flag raising, September the 25th is a Sunday. So the flag raising out town hall will be on September the 23rd, the Friday.
Okay, now we're moving into auditors motion. I have a motion for the audited financial statement that council hereby accepts the 2021 financial statement as presented by Grant Thornton on July 18th, 2022. Need a mover and a seconder? Any questions? All in favor? Carried. Perfect. And then I have a motion for the disposition of the surplus that council hereby authorize administration to transfer the 2021 operating surplus of $151,975 to the working capital reserve. I need a mover and a seconder.
So
Any questions?
Just one. So what are the options and why would we choose one over the other? I guess it would be my only question.
So I'll ask Treasurer Verbo to come down and speak to that item, please.
So there's several options. It's just, we're getting late in the year. We've already passed our budget. We've already set our tax rates and so forth, but we could fund, we can decide to give the residents a lower tax rate in 23, but that will be done in 2023 deliberations. We could fund additional projects that were not decided to go into the budget. So administration is recommending that we put it in the working capital fund right now, just because we're at the point that we'll be looking for financing the new works garage. And so council will make that decision when we bring a report later in the year, but most likely that money will be set aside for that. Or depending on when, how far we're along in the budget process, that $151,000 can fund something else in 2023.
So if it's sitting in the working capital fund, we can use it kind of as we.
The working capital fund is not specified for a specific project. It's just there.
So there's flexibility by putting it in there. It's a flexible place to hold it until we get.
Right, instead of having it in water sewers reserve fund or the fire vehicle reserve fund.
Okay, thank you. That makes sense.
Any other questions? Councilor Tubushi?
So obviously that because it's surplus and we don't count on it, was there any projects that we put on hold from this budget or that you may want to reconsider? And then if so, would you bring that forward as a supplemental recommendation moving
We're
forward?
talking about the mayor's line painter.
That would definitely be a no from us, but
So administratively, there's nothing that we put on hold or, anything that we brought forward in the budget is what is in the plans for 2022. As the treasurer stated, it's likely administration's recommendation will be to utilize the surplus. As councillor stated, we don't budget for a surplus to help offset some of the costs of borrowing for the new works and operations garage, which obviously is an investment that council approved as part of this year's budget.
Any other questions? All in favor? Carried. Perfect. Okay, so now before we get ready to adjourn, I just want to let everyone know the Township of Terrace Bay is pleased to invite everyone to take place, to come to their community, August 18th to the 21st. They'll be celebrating their 75th anniversary as a Northern Ontario community. And this historical achievement will be recognized throughout the year and culminate in the magnification of our annual Lighthouse Festival. So anyone passing through the community of Terrace Bay during the 18th and 21st, feel free to stop in and celebrate with the members of the community. And now I have a motion to adjourn. That we now adjourn at the hour of 4:23 p.m. I need a mover and a seconder. And all in favor? Perfect. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, your worship.